watching The End Zone, sponsored by Lucky Star Casino.
And welcome to a special edition of The End Zone along with Josh Callaway. I am Colby Daniels. The Thunder dominate Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals, 125-93, a statement at the Paycom Center. The season does not end today, Josh. They are headed to the Western Conference Finals, but a pretty incredible, dominant performance after a slow start.
Yeah, phenomenal performance. You know, when it was 2-2 coming back to Oklahoma City for Game 5, we had the conversation, is this going to be different? You know, because it was the same spot as a year ago against Dallas. They won that tough Game 4 coming back home. We got our answer resoundingly. They found a way in Game 5 and a phenomenal showing today. Like you said, slow start. First 8-9 minutes weren't pretty, but after that, just a masterclass, complete domination. And, yeah, the vibes are really good around Oklahoma City right now.
The biggest game at the Paycom Center in over a decade, and the Paycom Center was absolutely rocking this afternoon, as I'm sure was every Thunder watch party around the state. And we'll check in with Tanya Motorzitsky, who is at Fassler Hall. Tanya, I assume the crowd was spectacular taking in this Game 7 win. Okay, we do not have Tanya yet, but we will go there. Maybe the crowd has prevented her from jumping in. All right, we have Tanya back with us from Fassler Hall. Tanya, what's the atmosphere been like as Thunder fans are celebrating the season continuing?
Well, it's definitely thundering outside, but inside it's way louder. As you can see, some people have already left, but it was packed wall to wall. Let's see what these Thunder fans say. Go Thunder! Go Thunder!
Hell yeah!
Do we have what it takes to take on Anthony and the Wolves?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely.
I know that's right. Thank you guys. Have fun. So the atmosphere has been crazy. People have been cheering nonstop. Again, this was packed wall to wall. Yeah, go Thunder! So just a good time here. Everyone had fat heads. They were cheering, chanting OKC. They were even packed outside. Go Thunder!
Yeah, go Thunder!
Yeah!
Go Thunder!
All right, I'm live right here at Fassler Hall, where the turn-up is in Tulsa for the Thunder. For now, live, Tanya Motorzitsky, Fox 25.
Tanya, looks like a great atmosphere. Yeah. I got to say, I'm pretty jealous of her being there. Everybody there is absolutely excited about the Game 7 win, which we were talking, you know, as we were at the Paycom Center early today, it kind of felt like a sleepy vibe leading up to the game. Definitely by the time we got to tip-off, the crowd was amped up, but there was a lot of nervous energy at the Paycom Center today.
No, you said it, nervous. This was the biggest Thunder game. You know, before Game 5, we kind of talked about biggest game since probably at least 2016. Certainly today eclipsed that. I mean, everything on the line, everything you built for the whole season. We're talking about how different this summer will feel if they win or lose this game, almost no matter what happens the rest of the way. Obviously, they want to win a title, all that, but this was kind of that hump, you know, to get to the conference finals and to kind of, you know, pass this big test against Denver, Game 7, everything on the line. How would they handle it? Yeah, it was a bit of a nervous energy, but yeah, by the time we got to tip and certainly that run before halftime, it was as loud and as rocking in the Paycom Center as any game I've ever been at.
It was a very sloppy first quarter. They finished the first quarter down 5, and I kind of felt like, yeah, they were lucky to only be down 5.
No
and then the second quarter, they absolutely put the pedal to the metal. They were aggressive going to the bucket immediately to begin the second quarter. J-Dub was fantastic. Kind of invisible in Game 6, right? Has taken a lot of criticism over the last 48 hours for his Game 6 performance. 24 points tonight on 10 of 17 shooting. He was 3 of 16 in Game 6. So J-Dub delivers. Shea is always great, right? He's going to be the MVP. I would assume he gets his MVP award in the Western Conference Finals. We thought it would happen in this series, but, I mean, J-Dub and Shea needed to be superheroes in a Game 7, and they were absolutely that.
To go the distance, you need your stars to be stars, and they definitely were today, especially that 1-2, like you said. Jalen Williams took it on the chin after Game 6. A lot of criticism, a lot of people throwing a lot of things at him the last couple of days. I'm sure he sees and hears all of it. He responded. He was awesome today, especially down the stretch at the end of the first half. That run that he put on where he made some shots, you know, got to the line, that stretch to kind of give them a little cushion going before halftime was huge. They need him to be a number 2 to SGA, and he was that and then some today. A phenomenal performance from him. They needed it. They need it.
We finally got a game where SGA plays well, J-Dub plays well, and Chet plays well, right? All three of your big trio played well, in addition to Lou Dort, who I thought had great energy in the first half, despite the shot maybe not falling. He grabbed some loose ball rebounds that I thought spurred a big run for the Thunder. Alex Caruso and Cason Wallace also were pests the entire night, and their energy absolutely, I thought, was contagious for this Thunder defense that gave Denver problems in quarters 2, 3, and 4.
I think Alex Caruso set the record for standing ovations tonight. They were kept talking about it on the broadcast. Every time he left the floor, Thunder fans just a standing O, because it's not going to show up in the box score necessarily. You can't just look at the stats with him. You have to watch the games. The impact he has on winning is unbelievable. The amount of extra possessions and the way he defends Jokic. He was defending Jokic today. He's got 100 pounds on him, and he was holding his own as well as anyone. He's incredible. Lou Dort, like you said, even when the shots aren't falling, he just has maximum effort all the time. He was making things happen, and we both love Cason Wallace. He's going to be a big-time player. He already is, but he's so young still, and the impact that he has. The bench has been really good in this series, and they were again today, and that's what makes the Thunder so dangerous. Their depth is, the best in the league, probably.
We thought the depth would ultimately be the difference in this series. I felt like the series was going to be incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
I thought it would go 6, and I thought really in games 4, 5, and 6, you would start to see the Thunder's depth wear Denver down. It went longer than I initially expected, but that's what happened in game 7. Over the course of 48 minutes, the Thunder's depth, and Denver just looked gassed by the end of the third quarter tonight, and I think they kind of waved the white flag and the Thunder ran away with things. All right, we've got to take a timeout. That is Josh Callaway. I am Colby Daniels. We'll check in with Grant Palmer from the Paycom Center next here on the End Zone. Welcome back to a special edition of the End Zone along with Josh Callaway. I'm Colby Daniels. The Thunder dominate Game 7, 125-93. This thing was close in the first quarter, a big Thunder run in the second quarter, and ultimately things were not competitive at all in the second half, and I think Thunder fans probably prefer it that way to the nauseating roller coaster ride that this series had been through 6 games. But it is the Thunder decisively, which means they are headed to the Western Conference Finals, which game 1 is going to be Tuesday night. I mean, we're going to blink. Tomorrow we're going to Thunder availability to get ready for game 1 against Minnesota. This is a fun Western Conference Finals matchup. I thought going into this postseason, of all the teams the Thunder could play, and Denver just gave them everything they wanted in this series, I thought Minnesota would have been the toughest matchup over the course of a series for the Thunder. I just think not that they're the best team in the NBA. I mean, you could even argue that Denver is better than Minnesota. I just think Minnesota has the right pieces to give Oklahoma City a tough time. We saw how Denver at times made the Oklahoma City half-court offense struggle. Minnesota will do that tenfold. Now, Minnesota also doesn't have the offensive firepower, I think, consistently that you get from Denver with Jokic and Murray and some of their players. But this is going to be, I think, an old-school fist-fight, defensive struggle type of series in the Western Conference, and I think we're going to have a lot of competitive games.
Yeah, I agree. Minnesota's a really good team, and Oklahoma City will be the favorite. I mean, they're the 1 seed. They have home court. People will expect the Thunder to win. I expect nationally there to be a lot of picks for the Thunder to win, but I expect another war. I expect another long series, kind of like this Denver, game, 7-game set that we just went through. Games will be decided in the fourth quarter. Obviously, they have another superstar over there, Anthony Edwards, who's another top 5 player, just like Jokic, just like SGA is. And, their depth, Naz Reid's a guy who has given Thunder problems in the past. Obviously, Rudy Gobert, what he does defensively and on the boards. Julius Randle's playing some of the best basketball of his career right now. So it's going to be another battle, no doubt about it. Same kind of thing, though, as the Denver set, where we talked about can the Thunder, their depth and that sort of thing be a major factor as we go on. Like you said, do the Timberwolves have the offensive firepower to kind of keep up over the length of a 7-game series? We're going to find out. It's going to be important to protect home court like it is every series. You play all year, you get that number 1 seed, so you can have home court. Winning your games at home is going to be paramount for the Thunder, but it'll be another battle. I fully expect another long series. I think the Timberwolves are really, really good, and Thunder are going to have to play well. Obviously, you're this far in the Final Four to get through it, but it'll be another fight. That's for sure.
Don't panic with a game 1 loss, right? I mean, it happened in this series. The Thunder were able to bounce back. I do think the offense is going to really be tested in this next series. You have a rim protector in Rudy Gobert that is unlike anything Denver brings to the table, right? I mean, there were times that it felt like the Thunder had a hard time getting buckets in the paint in this series. It's night and day, I think, in the next series. Now, on the other side, Anthony Edwards is capable of taking over games, but unlike the 2 MVP candidates in this series with SGA and Jokic, he's a streaky scorer, right? He's not going to do it as efficiently. And if you have those nights where maybe he ends up with 35, but it's on twice as many shots as it takes Shea to get 35, that probably means you're getting more transition buckets. That means you're getting an unbalanced Minnesota defense as opposed to the ball going through the net and you having to find your way through all that length to get to a shot blocker like Gobert.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that matchup, SGA and Ant Edwards back and forth, is going to be incredible to watch. And you imagine both guys are going to bring their best, throughout the series. And, I'm interested, too, in it's the reverse of the Denver series in that the Thunder just played a 7-game war slugfest series where Minnesota's been done for a while, and they kind of were on cruise control. Once Steph Curry went out in that Warriors series, Golden State really just didn't have enough to hang with Minnesota. So they've been chilling. They've been waiting for their opponent, and they're going to get up here on Tuesday. Quick turnaround, like you said. I mean, you're talking about 50 hours from now, roughly, they're going to be tipping off in Game 1. So that's going to be interesting. Can the Thunder, get right back to it, reset the mind, and not kind of go in with that mindset of it's a big achievement to do what they just did, but not be satisfied with just, we made it to the conference finals. You got to come out ready to go because Minnesota, they'll be fired up. They were in the conference finals a year ago, so they've been in this spot. They're going to be ready to go, and they're going to try and steal Game 1 in Oklahoma City, which the Thunder, I know they just overcame that, but you don't want to let that happen again, obviously, on Tuesday.
They're going to be rested and ready, and again, I think the Thunder's depth is probably the difference in the series, but that won't take effect, you would imagine, until the end of the series, right? Potentially Game 4, 5, 6, or 7.
And it's every other day the whole way through.
That's right. Every other day the whole way through. Game 1, Western Conference Finals on Tuesday at the Paycom Center. That's Josh Callaway. I'm Colby Daniels. We will try to check in with Grant Palmer at the Paycom Center. I know that downtown is a wild party after a Game 7 win by the Thunder. We're back with more here on a special edition of The End Zone. Game 7 at the Paycom Center is Thunder domination, and Oklahoma City is headed to the Western Conference Finals. Game 1 against Minnesota Tuesday night at the Paycom Center. It was wild downtown. The atmosphere, obviously a ton of energy. The Paycom Center was going nuts as the Thunder really kicked things into gear in the second quarter. We are going to check in with Grant Palmer, who's at the official Thunder watch party. I'm sure the watch party is just as chaotic as the Paycom Center was just a short time ago. Grant.
Colby, it was actually kind of tame in here because the Thunder were just beating the brakes off of the Denver Nuggets. I mean, my goodness, 125-93 the final. I mean, that's what, 30-something points, 32, 35. I don't know a whole lot of math, but I do know that the Thunder are advancing to the Western Conference Finals, and these fans are hyped up. A lot of people have been coming from outside of the Paycom Center in here to the OKC Tap House, which is the official watch zone for OKC basketball. What an electric environment. Everyone has been chanting OKC. I've also heard MVP chants as well. And you know what? These fans are ready to watch a few more weeks of basketball. And you know what? I think this city deserves this as well. These fans deserve it. They have been loyal. They have been cheering their hearts out for this game and for other games. And it is a great scene down here. And, hey, Thunder up. We're ready to play some more basketball, Colby.
It's a lot, Grant. He said that it wasn't chaotic because it was such a beatdown that everybody was just hanging out and in a good mood. I had several text messages in the second half from friends and family that were like, finally a Thunder game that I can relax with in the second half. I know we had one of those in game number 2, but since then it's been a pretty wild roller coaster, a lot of fourth quarter drama. In a Game 7, that drama is at a peak. And tonight you really didn't get that in the second half. I think by midway through the third quarter, you didn't want to just necessarily call it, but you had to at least be able to take a deep sigh of relief that the Thunder were in control of things.
Especially in the fourth quarter. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, I think it was okay for us to start planning the next week. It was like, we're not going to jinx anything. I think we're in good shape here. Can I say, the vibes are incredible in Oklahoma City right now. The whole city, the whole state. I mean, this Thunder run has kind of gripped the whole state. You feel everyone dialed into every game. And a performance like today was just huge for everyone, just morale in the state of Oklahoma. And I noticed, too, when we went to Grant, how many people in the back room were wearing the shirt, from the game popped over there. It's early, it's 5:30. I mean, you got the whole day to just bask in it.
Game 7, you got to go party, right? You don't want to go home after a Game 7 win.
You got a whole evening to just bask in the glory. Just a great feeling all around for everybody.
That's absolutely right. Again, it was a big performance from SGA, who we expect to win the MVP and get that award. maybe in game 1 or 2 of the Western Conference Finals here in Oklahoma City. J-Dub with a giant bounce-back performance after the disappointing Game 6. But the Thunder are headed to the Western Conference Finals. That is Josh Callaway. I'm Colby Daniels. We'll take one final timeout, and we're wrapping things up on this special edition of The End Zone next. Thunder dominate Game 7, 125-93. They advance to the Western Conference Finals versus Minnesota. I think all Thunder fans statewide are still basking in the glow of this Game 7 win. And we're going to check in one more time with Tanya Motorzitsky at Fassler Hall. Tanya, is the party still raging on?
You know, it's kind of dying down, but I will say, I forgot to tell you guys this just a couple minutes ago, someone spilled beer on my Shea jersey. So that's why I'm underdressed and it's drying on the counter right now. That's how exciting it was as they were starting to catch up and take this almost 40-point lead. But I do have some folks over here who are excited. So, Thunder, look, you were waiting for this. You guys were waiting for this. You guys ready for this? Playing Anthony Edwards.
Yes, I am. I think the Thunder are going to win.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a
I think we're
close one.
young. We can handle Game 7.
Tell them about the matchup.
No, that's the Knicks.
Overall, an exciting time because this is just a once in a lifetime, but we're hoping to keep this momentum going for many seasons to come.
We made it past what we did last season, too, you know, where we lost. So I think it's great.
Right. Go Thunder, guys!
Yeah, Thunder! Let's go!
All right, thanks for hanging out and partying with us.
Absolutely.
All right, so Tuesday, Fassler Hall, 8:30. You don't want to miss the Tulsa party here. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tanya. A little easier to stomach beer getting spilled on the SGA jersey after a big win than if it were a devastating loss. But,
Can't wash it. Gotta just,
that's
gotta
right.
just go
that's
with
right.
it.
You gotta just roll with it.
Live with it.
Live
with it.
It's only stupid if it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just
exactly.
ride the momentum. Let's check in with SGA's comments after this game as we get ready for. You know what? As we get ready to dust off the demons of the Western Conference Finals, right?
First time in 9 years.
Yeah, it feels good. Obviously, our ultimate goal isn't just the Western Conference Finals. You got to go through there to get there. Yeah, we put it together tonight, and we got there. We got 4 more games to go get against a really good team in the Timberwolves, and that's what we're focused on. Every night's an opportunity to learn and get better, and we're going to do so, no matter what the outcome is.
Good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you on Tuesday.
You know who this is? The MVP.
They're obviously excited about the win, but you know they've preached throughout this playoff run what the big picture is, right? They're not getting too caught up in any one moment. I do appreciate the fact that they keep talking about learning, right? And every game is an opportunity to learn and get better. That was the focus after the Game 1 collapse. That was the focus even after the Game 1 blowout. It's learn lessons during this time that you have the opportunity to, and I think that's why they're able to stay so grounded. A really good example of that was tonight, the effort that they displayed while they were still up big. And, you know, I can't say enough about this gigantic Thunder win, 125-93, as they get ready to face the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals starting Tuesday night at 7:30. For Josh Callaway, I'm Colby Daniels. This has been a special edition of The End Zone, and we'll see you on Tuesday.